Today's lesson is over graphs, tables, and equations. What we're going to do is we're going to have word problems and we're going to break some things up and we're going to talk about what graphs mean, interpreting tables into graphs and answering questions and trying to understand what is going on, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Kim is 5 feet away from her desk. She starts walking away from her desk at a rate of 2 feet per second and walks for 10 seconds. Complete the table. Find the slope, the change in y over change in x. Okay, so she's going to walk at 2 feet per second, all right? Now, she's 5 feet away from her desk right now. In 2 seconds, how far will she be away? Well, 2 feet per second, okay? So you have 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. And in 2 more seconds, she's going to be 4 more feet away, right? So that's 13. In 2 more seconds, she'll be 4 more feet away, which is 17. And then she'll be 21 feet away. And then in 2 more seconds, she'll be 4 more feet away, which is 25. All right. So now what we have to do is we have to find the change in y or change in x, okay? So 5 to 9, what's the difference of 5 and 9? It's a plus 4. And 9 to 13 is plus 4. 13 to 17 is plus 4. 17 to 21 is plus 4. And 21 to 25 is plus 4. Okay, so now let's figure out what is the change in x. 0 to 2 is plus 2. 2 to 4 is another plus 2. 4 to 6 is plus 2. This is plus 2, and 6 to 10 is plus 2. Okay, so now the slope, the change in y over the change in x. Well, the change in y is 4 over the change in x is 2, which simplifies to 2. Okay, so what does this actually mean? We'll just write it down here. It says it meant that she was going 2 feet per second is the same as 4 feet per 2 seconds. Okay, so now let's look at a table. It says plot time and distance for each x in your table. All right, so what I'm going to do is first we have to label our axis, okay? So our x-axis is going to be, let's look at it. Let's see what we have here. So your x is seconds and your y is distance in feet. Okay, so let's label our x and y. So this is seconds. And our y-axis is distance in feet. Okay. So we labeled the axis and we had that x was seconds and that the y is distance in feet. Okay. Now, where did the walker start in relation to the tape measure? So let's look at it. Where did the walker start? It said that Kim started 5 feet away from her desk. All right, so before at 0 seconds, she was 5 feet away from her desk. So at 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so she's 5 feet away from her desk. So here we go. 5 feet away from her desk. Let's go ahead and plot our table. So then at 2 seconds, she was at 9. 4 seconds, she was at 13. At 6 seconds, it was at 17. And at 8 seconds, it was 21. Okay, and I just got those numbers from my front table. 0, 5, 2, 9. You go over 4, up 13. That's how I did that, over 4 and up 13. All right, so let me draw the line. Let's go ahead and graph the 10. At 10 seconds, it was at 25 feet, which is right here. Okay, now let's draw the line. Oh, sorry, that should have been straighter. Okay. All right. What does this point represent on the graph? So it says, where did the walker start in relation to the tape measure? 5 feet away from the desk. What does this point represent on the graph? Well, it represents the ordered pair 0, 5. How fast is the walker walking, and how did you know? Well, we already figured it out that it was 2 feet per second. And we knew that because of the given information. Okay, what does this rate represent? Well, it represents the slope, which is the change in y over the change in x, which was 4 over 2, which is 2. And that's how we got that. If we know the y-intercept and the slope or rate of change, how can we write an equation in slope-intercept form to represent the data points? What is the equation? Well, we know that m is 2, and we know that b equals 5 because 5 is our starting point. Therefore, our equation, y equals mx plus b, we just fill in our m. Fill in our b. So we have y equals 2x plus 5. So you just create a slope-intercept slope-intercept equation for our graph. All right? So let's look at the next page. It says notes, equations, tables, and graphs. So now we're going to put all of it together again in just a smaller scale. Some of the values for the equation, y equals 2x plus 1, are missing. Complete the table for the missing values. Okay, so what we're going to do is you actually can get a separate sheet of paper, and we're going to solve a couple of these, and I'm going to show you a trick on your calculator. So 1 second. All right, so this is how we do this first part. Now, my formula is y equals 2x plus 1. And they're telling me right here that x is 0. So I'm going to fill in a 0 for x. Now I simplify. Y equals 0 plus 1, y equals 1. So this is 1. Okay, now I can do it again. Y equals 2x plus 3. But this time they're saying y is 3. Okay, so I'm going to say 3 equals 2x plus 3. And now I have to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. 0 equals 2x. Oh, I did that wrong. Sorry. I was like, hold on, this isn't right. I wrote the wrong equation. There we go. Y equals 2x plus 1. So now I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And I'm left with a 2. Sorry, 2. Now we're going to divide by 2. X equals 1. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something on the calculator. What I want you to do on your calculator is I want you to type in y equals. And we're going to type in the equation 2, and this is the button you have to use for x right here, right underneath the mode button. 2x plus 1. Then you're going to hit second graph. All right. So this is actually showing us everything that we need to know. Okay. So make sure when you're scrolling, you're always in the x column. All right. So for 0, when x is 0, y is 1. When x is 1, y is 3. When x is 2, y is 5. When x is 4, you can scoot back over. When x is 4, y is 9. Now it says when x is 15, x is 7. And let's go ahead and fill this in here. And then let's see, when x is 13, this is 27. All right, I'm just going to finish these few questions and I'm going to have to stop my video and do a part 1 and a part 2. Are the y values increasing or decreasing? Well, are the y values increasing or decreasing? They're increasing. When x increases by 1, what happens to the y value? Well, if it increases by 1, this is increasing by what? 2. If this increases by 1, this increases by 2. So it's increasing. Now it says graph the ordered pairs in the table that will fit on the coordinate grid. All right, so here we go. So we're going to go 0 on the x, 1 on the y. 1 on the x, 3 on the y. 2 on the x, 5 on the y. 4 on the x, 9 on the y. All right, there you go. And what we're going to do is we're just going to draw a line. And we've graphed it. All right, now I'm going to stop the video and I will come right back with part 2.